Good Sunday morning to you, everybody. Hope you're having a great weekend. It's been a nice weekend down here. Weather's been nice. Been able to do a few things outside. Hope yours is going well too. Was going to do a show on Thursday, but man, I was down for the count. Something going on around work. I don't know what's going on. Congestion, cough, bad. I was down, but I'm better now. Thank God. Got well just in time for the weekend too. That's always a good thing. All right, so. We're going to go over what happened these last couple of days in college basketball. Got a lot of news items, some of them from about a week ago. But like I said, because I didn't do a show, didn't get to them. So we'll go over those real quick. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. With it, let's get down to some of these news items. Like I said, some of them are old. Former Washington Husky offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. He's going to be the new OC at Alabama. He was the OC under Kalen DeBoer at Washington in 2022 and 2023. He actually was the offensive coordinator at Seattle Seahawks last year. So he's coming back to join Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. Chip Kelly leaving Ohio State to be Las Vegas Raiders OC under Pete Carroll. Buckeyes, when the story came out, they were set to promote Brian Hartle as their new OC. I'm guessing they went ahead and did that. So Chip Kelly going back to the pros. Some sad news here. Tim Campbell, brother of legendary Texas and Houston Oilers running back Earl Campbell, passed away at 68 from cancer. He was actually an all-star pass rusher there at Texas along with Earl and their other brother Steve. Honestly, I didn't know all three brothers played together at Texas. That's kind of cool. He and his other brother Steve, they arrived there in 1975. All three played together at Texas and in high school, John Tyler High School, where they went 15-0 and won the state championship here in Texas. Set a record at UT in 1977 when Earl was playing, 14 sacks. It's since been broken. I think it was broken a few years later, 82 or 83 by somebody. But Tim Campbell, brother of Earl, passed away from cancer. I know Earl, I've seen Earl interviews with him. He's not in the best of shape. His body is just all wore out from football. Not sure how Steve is doing. But anyway, prayers to the Campbell family and all their friends and former teammates. 68 years old, passed away of cancer. Let's see. West Alabama, they hire Scott Cochran as their new head coach. He was the Alabama strength and conditioning coach under Nick Saban when Nick Saban was coaching there at Alabama. So he's going to be West Alabama's new head coach. Iowa's Owen Freeman. He will undergo, probably already went under surgery, season ending, his finger. He averages 16 points a game, or he averaged 16 points a game for Iowa. They sure could have used him yesterday, that's for sure. Maryland, they hire Pep Hamilton as their new offensive coordinator. He coached in college and the NFL. Rutgers was set to hire, probably already did, Rob Smith as their new co-defensive coordinator. This will be his third stint there at Rutgers. Florida State head coach Leonard Hamilton said he is stepping down at season end. 76 years old, the winningest basketball coach in Florida State basketball history. 23-year career there. Florida State started off good this year, and then they lost, I forget how many, 6, 7, 8 straight. Been winning again, but yeah, he's going to step down there. Some other news about that, not that, but a different story. Indiana head coach Mike Woodson, he will step down at season end. And this is looking like it's going to be the second consecutive season Indiana does not make the NCAA tournament. Georgia Tech is set to hire Texas assistant Blake Gideon as its new defensive coordinator there for their defense. SMU AD athletic director Rick Hart, he's stepping down after a decade at the helm there at SMU. Helped bring them back to prominence, I guess you could say. Also helped the ACC deal, get them into the ACC. Couldn't really find the reason why. I don't know. Maybe he wants to retire. Maybe it's something we don't know about. But anyway, he's going to be out as athletic director of SMU. And then Marshall Faulk. Remember Marshall Faulk? Great running back. He's going to be the new running backs coach at Colorado under Deion. We're going to see how that works out. All right, so we're going to go back to Thursday. Some things that happened. Back on Thursday, 14-9, Ohio State beat number 18 Maryland 73-70. Buckeyes are actually down by 17 at one point in this game. Thornton hit a three with 7.4 seconds left. He also had 31 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists in that win. 12-12 Albany beat 14-10 Bryant by 5. 12-12 Binghamton beat 15-9 UMass Lowell 66-54. 16-7 Jacksonville State beat 15-8 Middle Tennessee 77-63. Pierre Jr. for Jacksonville State, 36 points, 10 for 16 from the three-point line. Pretty freaking impressive. 13-11 Campbell beat 15-9 Aliens 76-58. Campbell had 12 three-pointers in that game, 24 points off of turnovers. 9-14 Fairfield beat 16-4 Marist by 3. 13-11 Drexel beat 14-10 William and Mary by 20 in that one. Drexel, 12 three-pointers in that game to help them. 10-13 Iona beat 13-10 Mount St. Mary's 70-67 in overtime. Kennesaw State beat Western Kentucky 76-69. Both of them are 14-9 or were 14-9 as of Thursday. Eastern Kentucky beat Florida Gulf Coast 92-74. Both of them were 13-11. 11-15 Long Island beat 12-11 Wagner 16-47. 12-11 South Florida beat 14-9 Temple 100-91 in 2 overtimes. Southeast Missouri State beat Morehead State 80-51. Both of them were 14-10 on Thursday. 16-8 Montana beat 17-7 Northern Colorado 86-78. Montana's Williams 19 points in that game. 18-5 Liberty. Sounded like that idiot in that commercial. Liberty. Beat 16-7 La Tech 77-53. 16-9 South Dakota State beat 18-7 St. Thomas, Minnesota 102-86. 19-6 San Francisco beat 20-4 St. Mary's by 1. 17-7 Gonzaga beat 14-9 Loyola Marymount by 20. 9-15 Cal Poly beat 13-10 Hawaii 79-63. Not a good weekend for Hawaii, as you'll see. 19-4 UC San Diego beat 15-9 UC Riverside by 20. 17-7 Oregon State beat 15-10 Washington State 82-74. Oregon State was 30 for 38 from the free throw line. They had 17 more rebounds than Washington State. All right, Friday, number 7 Purdue beat 13-10 USC 90-72. 19-5 VCU beat 16-8 Dayton 73-68. Both of them shot under 38%, but VCU did score 30 points off of turnovers. 14-9 St. Joseph's beat 14-10 St. Louis 76-63. Number 12 St. John's beat number 19 UConn 68-52. I guess that was the marquee game of the night. St. John's Lewis 21 points, 7 rebounds, scored 6 points in the final 2:16 of that game. McNeely for UConn 18 points, 11 rebounds, came off the bench to do that. St. John's 40% from the field. UConn was 39% from the field in that one. St. John's, that is 10 straight wins for them. All right, so yesterday, what a day, huh? Remember we had what, 3-4 major Saturdays in college football last year? Started to have some of these major Saturdays in basketball. I mean, remember last week, Arkansas beats Kentucky, and then number 1, number 2 go down yesterday. Number 3 I didn't think, I watched that game, we'll go over that. I don't really feel like Alabama was ever in a threat to lose that game against Arkansas last night. They started off strong, but Arkansas made it interesting. Came on that run at the end. So, of course, everybody in America is wondering, hey, will number 3 go down too? Didn't happen, but we'll get to that. All right, so number 9, Michigan State takes down 16-8 Oregon, 86-74. Spartans Richardson, 29 points, 18 of those in the second half. Number 14, Kentucky beat South Carolina by 23. Number 4, Tennessee beat 16-7 Oklahoma, 70-52. On their own court, too. I watched that game, the whole game. It's just like they were getting slaughtered on their own home court. Pretty bad. And that was the first meeting for them in 56 years, and Tennessee came after them. Tennessee, 60% from the field. Oklahoma, 32%. Man. I don't know. Number 8, Iowa State beat 12-11 TCU by 30. Iowa State, 22 points off of turnovers, and they also shot 60% from the field. Number 24, Michigan beat 14-10 Indiana, 70-67. Wolf from Michigan, 20 points, 9 rebounds. Galden behind him, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Number 21, Wisconsin beat 13-10 Iowa, 74-63. Iowa got that game within 5 points, but man, they just could not make a shot in the last couple minutes of that game. 17-6 Vanderbilt beat 15-9 Texas, 86-78. Carey, 18 points, 14 rebounds off the bench for the Commodores. 17-8 Lipscomb beat 15-10 Queens, 94-81. Queens actually led by 9 at halftime. 18-5 Miami of Ohio beat 15-9 Troy, 69-62. 9-14 Niagara beat 14-10 Quinnipiac by 1. The game was tied 37 at halftime. 12-11 Kansas State beats their rival, number 16 Kansas, 81-73. Both of them shot 50% from the field. Kansas State, 11 3-pointers, 13 points off of turnovers. And I want to say I saw somewhere that this is the third time they beat Kansas in the last few years on their home court. So, I don't know. It looks like Manhattan might be a bad place for Kansas to go and play in the last several years. But pretty cool to beat your rival like that. Unless you're a Kansas fan, then you're pissed. 12-13 Southern Illinois beat 14-10 Loyola Chicago, 79-67. 14-6 Yale beat 13-7 Cornell, 103-88. Yale's Polakadias, I think this is his name, Polakadias, 32 points. Nice game for him. 18-5 Akron beat 16-9 South Alabama by 15. Akron made 19 3-pointers in this game. They were shooting it from out there. 15-8 Kent State beat 18-7 Arkansas State by 1. Arkansas State actually led by 3 at halftime. 15-8 Toledo beat 15-10 James Madison, 72-69. 15-10 Nebraska Omaha beat 17-9 North Dakota State, 85-74. Osborne for Nebraska Omaha, 27 points in that game. 18-7 Cleveland State beat 16-9 Milwaukee. How do you say this guy's name? Cleveland State's Stavovsky, I think. 30 points. Nice game for him. 16-10 Radford beat 16-9 Longwood, 71-69. Radford's Malin hit a shot with 2 seconds left to help them win that game. This game I watched. Great game. My sister and her husband were there. They went to this game. Number 10, Texas A&M beats number 15, Missouri, 67-64. Game started off, Missouri, or Aggies, man, they just took off. I mean, they just took off, but Mizzou came back, made it a hell of a game. A&M's Payne, 20 points, Taylor, 15 points, including the game-winning 3 with, 2.1 seconds left. I know they had to break the heart of my sister. Sister went to A&M. Her husband went to Missouri. So, sister was happy. Sister was happy. He was probably not, especially when he hit that 3-pointer. Bates from Missouri, 16 points, 3 rebounds. Cruz came off the bench, 14 points. A&M, 45% from the field. Missouri was 40% from the field. Both hit 5 3-pointers. Texas A&M was 14 for 23 from the free throw line. Missouri was 17 for 20. Both teams had 19 fouls. Coleman for A&M, though, 16 rebounds. Nice game for him. 15-10, Eastern Tennessee beat 19-6 Samford, 66-59. Eastern Tennessee's Peterson, 22 points in that game. Number 6 Florida beats number 1 Auburn, 90-81. Florida's Clayton Jr., 19 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, hit 4 3-pointers. Camden, 17 points, 10 rebounds behind him. Kelly for Auburn, 22 points, 3 3-pointers. Brome, 18 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Florida, 48% from the field. Auburn was 43. Florida, 13 3-pointers. Auburn made 7. Both teams have 40 rebounds. Florida, better from the free throw line. Auburn, 14-game win streak. Done. It's over. UCLA, wouldn't be surprised if they started another win streak, though, because they're a damn good team. UCLA is 18-6, beat 13-11 Penn State, 78-54. UCLA, 24 points off of turnovers. 14-10 North Carolina beat 14-9 Pitt, 67-66. Tar Heels 13 points off of turnovers. 19-5 George Mason beat 15-8 Rhode Island 82-67. Number 5 Houston beat 9-14 Colorado by 10. That's 12 straight losses for Colorado. Maybe Dion needs to go over there and coach a few games. 17-8 Chattanooga beat 18-7 Furman 85-72. Furman actually led by 3 at halftime. 9-6 Eastern Washington beat 14-10 Portland State. Middle Tennessee at 16-8. They beat Kennesaw State by 1. Porter for Middle Tennessee, 22 points in that game. 17-7 Jacksonville State beat 14-10 Western Kentucky by 2. Pierre Jr. for Jacksonville State, 28 points in that game. 15-8 West Virginia beat 13-10 Utah, 72-61. West Virginia 16 points off of turnovers. 19-6 Charleston beat 15-10 Alien by 5 in overtime. Number 22 Mississippi State, they beat 16-8 Georgia by 1. Mississippi State 55% from the field. Georgia only shot 46%. Number 23 Illinois beat 12-12 Minnesota 95-74. Riley for Illinois 27 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Came off the bench to do that. 11-13 Stephen F. Austin beat 15-10 Texas A&M Corpus Christi 78-64. A&M Corpus Christi, they're usually a good team, but they've been losing a few games lately. I don't know what's going to happen with them. They're 15-10 now. 14-9 Cincinnati beat 15-8 BYU 84-66. Cincy's Jones 24 points, hit 6 3-pointers in this game. 10-14 Duquesne beat 14-9 Loyola Chicago 69-56. 16-9 Northern Iowa beat 15-10 Illinois State by 3. 19-5 Clemson beat number 2 Duke. Heck of a game. It really was. Clemson beat them 77-71. Lakin for Clemson, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 114 points, 7 rebounds. Proctor for Duke, 23 points. He hit 4 3-pointers. And a Flag, 18 points, 5 rebounds. Clemson, 59% from the field. Duke shot 44. Clemson hit 4 3-pointers only. Duke did hit 12. They hit a lot more than that, but still lost the game. Clemson, 13 for 22 from the free throw line. Duke was 11 for 14. Clemson out-rebounded Duke 36-23 and also had less fouls in that game. And then Clemson fans stormed the court. I'm sure there's going to be some fines for that one. 11-13 Iona beat 16-5 Marist by 4. Lamar, they moved to 14-10. They beat 13-11 UT Rio Grande Valley by 2. 21-5 High Point beat 17-7 North Carolina Asheville 104-100 in overtime. 17-8 Montana beat 14-8 Northern Arizona by 3. Johnson for Montana had 22 points. 12-11 Cal Baptist beat 17-6 Grand Canyon 85-71. Cal Baptist's Riley scored 25 in that game. Number 25 Ole Miss, another one I watched. That was pretty good. Beat 12-11 LSU 72-70. Ole Miss, Davis tips in Padula's missed layup with 1 second left. LSU played a good game, almost a whole game. They actually played that game. Still came up with a loss. And a lot of ramblings online, just like there are about Brian Kelly during football season. Is this the right guy? A lot of ramblings online about, is this head coach? Is he our guy? It's going to be interesting to see what happens here at the end of their season. Like I said, the Alabama-Arkansas game, number 3 Alabama beats 14-9 Arkansas 85-81. Bama's Nelson, Youngblood, 15 points each. Lusick for Arkansas, can't read my writing, 27 points, 7 rebounds. He hit 5 3-pointers. Thero behind him, 22.6 rebounds. Alabama, 55% from the field. Arkansas was 43%. Alabama, 12 for 18 from the free throw line. Auburn was 18 for 21. Like I said, a pretty good game. Bama started off strong, but Arkansas came back. And at one point, Alabama led by 18 in this game. 6 minutes left in the second half. Razorbacks went on a 13-2 run to come back and make it a pretty damn interesting game. Came back to within 2 within the last minute to play. So Arkansas now 14-9. You just wonder what they have to do. What they got to do to get into the tournament. Are they going to have to mow down everybody else they play? I don't know if that's possible, especially SEC, a good basketball conference. Remains to be seen. It really does. 26 San Francisco beat 14-10 Loyola Marymount, 72-66. San Francisco 21 points off turnovers. UC San Diego beat UC Irvine 85-67. Both of them are 20-4 now. 21-4 St. Mary's beat 17-8 Oregon State 63-49. 16-8 UC Santa Barbara beat 13-11 Hawaii by 4. Hawaii not having a good weekend. 15-8 Colorado State beat 15-6 San Diego State 68-63. Clifford for Colorado State, 21 points, 13 rebounds, hit 4 3-pointers. And then the last one I watched, pretty damn good game. Number 20 Arizona beat number 13 Texas Tech, 82-73. Wildcats Bradley and Love, 16 points each. Vesser and Lewis came off the bench, 15 points apiece for them. Toppin for Texas Tech, 21 points, 13 rebounds. Nice solid game for him. Williams and Anderson, both 13 points and 3 rebounds. Anderson actually came off the bench to score his 17 points. Arizona, 52% from the field. Texas Tech only 37. Arizona only hit 4 3-pointers. Texas Tech did hit 12 of them. Arizona, 18 for 23 from the free throw line. Texas Tech was 9 for 10. Arizona, 42 rebounds. Texas Tech only had 29. Arizona committed 13 fouls. Texas Tech committed 17. All right, so upcoming, some interesting games this week. 11 a.m. today, BTN Network. Might be happening right now. I don't have a watch. I don't know. Number 18, Maryland versus 12-11 Rutgers. 11 a.m. on USC or USA Network. This could be a good one here. 15-8 George Washington versus 17-7 St. Bonaventure. Could be a pretty good morning game here. Another one that might be decent. 11 a.m. for FS1. 14-9 Xavier versus 13-10 Villanova. 1 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. 14-9 Ohio State versus 15-8 Nebraska. And 1 p.m. ESPN2 looks like it could be a pretty good one. 14-9 Temple versus number 17 Memphis. Remains to be seen, but you never know. Something gets you going before the Super Bowl starts. All right, Monday, only one top 25 game. That's 8 p.m. ESPN. 15-8 Baylor versus number 5 Houston. But you also got 6 p.m. ESPN. 14-10 North Carolina versus 19-5 Clemson. Clemson coming off that high of beating number 2 Duke. And North Carolina, they're coming off a high. They beat Pitt last night. So 7 p.m. ESPN Plus, 15-10 Texas A&M Corpus Christi versus 14-10 Lamar. Tuesday, they call it Super Tuesday for a reason because you need more than one screen. You need a TV, you need an iPad, probably need your phone, maybe something else because, once again, Super Tuesday. 6 p.m. SEC Network, number 1 Alabama versus 17-6 Vanderbilt. Going to try to get a little revenge from football season. 6 p.m. ESPN, number 4 Tennessee versus number 14 Kentucky. That ought to be pretty good. 6 p.m. on ESPN2, number 6 Florida versus number 22 Mississippi State. 6 p.m. on Peacock, number 7 Purdue versus number 24 Michigan. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, number 8 Iowa State versus 13-10 Central Florida. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, 13-10 Utah versus 14-9 Cincinnati. 6 p.m. on CBS Sports Network, BYU versus West Virginia. Both of them are 15-8. 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus, 15-8 Toledo versus 18-5 Miami of Ohio. 7 p.m. on Peacock, 18-6 UCLA versus number 23 Illinois. 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus, 19-5 George Mason versus 14-10 St. Louis. 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus, 15-10 Southeast Missouri versus 16-9 Little Rock. 8 p.m. ESPN. Might be a pretty good game here. Number 3 Alabama versus 15-9 Texas. 8 p.m. on Peacock. 14-10 Indiana versus number 9 Michigan State. 8 p.m. SEC Network. 16-8 Georgia. They go to number 10 Texas A&M. 8 p.m. on ESPN2. Number 16 Kansas, who's pissed that they lost to their rival Kansas State, is going to go to Boulder and take it out on poor little 9-14 Colorado. 8 p.m. CBS Sports Network. Number 19 UConn versus 18-6 Creighton. 8 p.m. on the ACC Network. 14-9 Pitt versus 18-5 SMU. 10 p.m. on FS1. 15-8 Colorado State versus 21-3 Utah State. And then rounding it out, 10 p.m. on ESPN2. 17-9 Santa Clara versus 21-4 St. Mary's. Hence, Super Tuesday, you need several screens. All right, so Wednesday, 5 p.m. on FS1, number 12 St. John's versus versus 13 and 10 Villanova. 5:30 ESPN Plus, 18 and 8 Purdue Fort Wayne versus 16 and 10 Youngstown State. 6 p.m. on SEC Network, number 25 Ole Miss versus 10 and 13 South Carolina. 6 p.m. ESPNU. This is an interesting matchup. 14 and 9 Florida State versus 18 and 6 Wake Forest. ACC matchup. Florida State, after that losing streak, starting to win again. Can they go to the Wake Forest and win? I don't know, but that could be an interesting game right there. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, 17 and 7 St. Bonaventure versus 15 and 8 Rhode Island. 6 p.m. No TV mentioned. Maybe they're figuring out where they're going to put this game because it's got to be somewhere. 19 and 5 VCU versus 15 and 8 George Washington. I imagine they're going to figure out someplace to put this game before Wednesday. 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus, 18 and 8 Rob Morris versus 18 and 7 Cleveland State. 6:30 on ESPN Plus, 17 and 8 Chattanooga versus 19 and 6 Samford. 8 p.m. ACC Network. 12 and 12 Cal plays number 2. Well, probably not going to be number 2 now, but number 2, we'll say Duke, a pissed off Duke team because you know they're going to be pissed. 8 p.m. CBS Sports Network, 12 and 10 Arizona State versus number 13 Texas Tech. 8 p.m. on the SEC Network, 16 and 7 Oklahoma versus number 15 Missouri. Surely Oklahoma can't turn things around and beat Missouri on the road, can they? I don't know. All right, so 8 p.m. ESPNU, Notre Dame versus Boston College. Both are 10 and 13, but they're both kind of a rivalry. Being Catholic schools, there's been a long time joke that's going around for years. Kids that can't get into Notre Dame go to Boston College. These two teams always got something to prove when they play each other, so that could be a pretty good game. 8 p.m. on ESPN Plus, 22 and 2 Drake versus 15 and 10 Illinois State. And then 8 p.m. ESPN2, 12 and 11 LSU, who is hurting, versus 14 and 9 Arkansas, who beat Kentucky last week, barely lost to Alabama last night. So that might be a pretty good one. So that is it. We'll be back Wednesday or Thursday to recap everything that's going to happen here in the next few days, and then to preview the weekend. In the meantime, Monday's here tomorrow. It sucks, but what are you going to do? Just stay busy. The day will go by fast. That day, Tuesday will go by, Wednesday, Thursday, before you know it, weekend's here again if you stay busy. Anyway, stay safe. We'll see you next time.